160 metres as well. Jordan Turner, 128 metres. Mike Lawrence might not be the captain in sort of the lineup now, but he certainly does lead by example still. 56 tackles, 13 of which were marker tackles, and 100 metres as well. And Adam O'Brien celebrated his night's call-up with a try and 51 tackles. In terms of the losing Saints side, I think I've missed someone off the list here because I've only got 3 names, but Tommy Makinson, 11 tackles and 204 metres. Luke Thompson, he got a try, 5 tackles, 133 metres and 2 clean breaks, so he kept going strong. And James Roby, 47 tackles, 10 of which were marker tackles.
Yep, and we had some fans get in touch, starting with Dan, who said, Saints were rubbish tonight, but referee determined the outcome of the match. Absolutely terrible tonight. It was one rule for one and another rule for another.
Could have been Gareth Hewer then that the abuse was aimed at. Who knows? Cav said, I only saw the highlights and followed online, but I wish I'd seen it all. Giants looked solid in defence from what I saw, and the result, along with last week's, begs the question, how amazing must Wigan be this year? Feel for the Robins on Sunday. Cav, you're a rising star of the SLP world with observations. Like, how amazing must Wigan be?
Get your head looked at, Cav. Mark W said, with our 2 starting props missing, a 3-man bench for the first half and a 2-man bench for the second half, this shouldn't have been a contest against Saints. But the Giants showed serious resilience and worked really hard in defence to show that last week was the exception, not the rule.
St David said, well, that was disappointing again. We could and should have won, but didn't. Too much reliance on Lomax to just do something, and too little nous to kick one or more of the 3 penalties right under the sticks. Credit to the Giants who lost players during the game. Hope Coote makes us better next week. Onwards. Yeah, interesting result. The highlights explain to me what the stats didn't, in that the Giants' goal line defence was back to the form it was in 2 weeks ago, and the Saints' attack was not clicking. It looks like they seem to make some serious mistakes with the line begging for them and pick the wrong options, run the wrong lines. Not like the Saints side that we've seen in the last sort of 2 years, really, but everyone's entitled to an off day, I suppose. But they've not lost at home since way back when. I think it was when Wigan beat them in the Super 8s in 2017. It would have been. I don't think they've lost at home since then. So big disappointment for them.
Did they not lose once in 2018 at home, I thought?
Ooh, they did. Did they? Ooh.
Yeah, because London beat them last year.
That was
home and away.
No, they beat them twice in London.
Oh, did they? I thought they'd been... Okay, fair point.
Yeah, loop fixtures, I think that one was. Because last year, if you remember, they lost every game that they went south of Cheshire for, and won every other game that they played. I mean, some of the same old candidates appeared to play well for Saints, but not well enough, it appears.
Yeah.
The stats call out Mike Lawrence, so he got ample praise there. But the player that I want to call out and talk about, and actually it's my highlight moment from the highlights that I saw, it's Jake Wardle. I think maybe he's a player that when me, Rich and Paul had the chat about NRL, potential players moving to the NRL in the future, Jake Wardle's maybe a player we missed out on talking about, because he's definitely a youngster who has got a big potential future ahead of him, as long as he's got great skill and ability. If he can stay injury free, which has been his Achilles heel, as it were, up to now, he's going to be a fantastic talent in our league and potentially beyond. So his game winner was the highlight. Jerry made a really good tackle in the game to your friend Jerry. Made a great tackle to deny makeshift centre Morgan Knowles. It looked kind of crucial. Assisted quite a few last-ditch defensive efforts by the Giants in what I'm guessing from when the way the highlights flowed was the last 20 minutes or so of the game, from sort of what I've read and what I've pieced together. But yeah, brilliant rearguard stuff from the Giants in this one, in a game where they were put under a lot of pressure and Saints couldn't execute.
Yeah, if anyone's got spare time, go back and read the E252 Twitter account from Friday. It was amusing.
I wasn't on Twitter on Friday. I was doing some family stuff kind of stuff. So I actually had to watch the live game on catch up.
Right, yeah.
So I was away from Twitter, so I might have to go and check that out then. But
it was amusing. You'd enjoy it.
Well, shall we move on to another game on Friday night? Another close game, closer in fact than the game before.
Yes. So down at Bellevue, or the Mobile Rocket Stadium, it was Wakefield were at home, weren't they? It finished Wakefield 26, Hull FC 27 after Golden Point. At half-time, it was Wakefield 6, Hull FC 20. It was watched by 5,528 people and refereed by Mr. James Child. In terms of stats, again, the stats don't explain why this was close. Hull had fewer carries but made 3 more breaks and 166 more metres at 1.8 metres per carry better average game. Wakefield made 5 more handling errors and gave up an extra penalty. The only key stats that they led on was offloads and tackle success rate, yet just 1 point in Golden Point extra time separated the sides. Individually, for Hull, Jamie Shaw with 1 try, 175 metres, 2 clean breaks. Josh Griffin with 5 tackle busts, 151 metres. Josh Jones with 2 try assists, 5 tackle busts, 116 metres and 3 offloads. And Liggy Sow with 111 metres. For the losing Wakefield, Joe Westerman made 46 tackles and 3 offloads. Tom Johnston with 2 tries and 100 metres. Bill Tupu with 2 try assists and 117 metres. Ryan Atkins was credited with 2 tries, 11 tackle busts and 117 metres and 2 clean breaks.
The first one looked a try when I saw the highlights, Sarah.
Did it? Wow.
I don't want to, I would love to take it away from him because of the amount of tries he's tried to claim that he didn't deserve, but I think he just got there before the goal line, unfortunately.
Well, to be fair, from where we were standing, yes, we could see that end, but yeah.
It's always a struggle you're always just about seeing what you're doing when you stood down the sideline.
Well, we had the problem. We missed Kieran Buchanan's try and the Tom Johnston ones because literally we couldn't see a thing. It was watching to see what level of celebration there was from the Wakefield fans. It was like, that was kind of a small cheer, so maybe it was a knock-on or a drop-out.
Yeah, I think we've got something on that in this one in one of the fan views as well. So we'll start with Joe Newman, who said, second half syndrome again, failed to kill the game off. 1 point specialist snide gets us out of jail. Bang average since the opening round when it leads. We'll get punished versus Wire next week if defensive errors aren't sorted.
Page said, we may have won, but it's just not good enough. Giving up yet another lead, only for Sneed and his golden boot to save the day again, and probably Radders. So many errors and penalties, it's like we're lacking field. Time for me and Blake to warm up our vocal cords there. Time to sing into the weekend. Warrington next week, the big week ahead.
Wakey White said, what a great game this was. I thought Wakey were dead and buried after being bullied by Hull in the first half, but they showed great effort and silks to get back into it. Tom Johnston with a couple of outrageous scores in the corner to level it up at full time. Unfortunately, we couldn't convert from out wide, and Sneed delivered for Hull to snatch the 2 points. Never been more buzzing after a defeat. That's what we like. We like people who would go away from games happy just because they've been entertained.
Yes. Always in our shadow said, what a shithouse of a ground stuck in a time warp, unable to see 3 of the tries due to layout. Fanua a beast going forward, a liability defensively again, a comfortable lead squandered once more to be rescued by the left foot of Sneed.
Hey, maybe you can work out who always in our shadow is, because he must have been
standing within 20 metres of us.
Exactly, yeah. And you would have been able to notice him because he's the one who just constantly stamps on any robin that he sees.
That doesn't narrow it down.
Joshua's granddad said, a sense of deja vu as another lead slipped away until up stepped the Iceman. 3 Golden Point games, 3 wins for Snide. It was all going so well up to half-time, with Mr. Child giving us the benefit of his calls and a healthy lead built up. After half-time, the call started going Trinity's way to set a platform to attack our limited right edge, missing Mao and Fanua playing on one leg.
Tom Andrews said, yet again, Sneed keeps Radders in a job. Can't knock him in the clutch, despite him being shite the rest of the time. Don't think the bedsheets will be away yet. Even the already relegated Robins beat them in 80 minutes. #Radders in.
Rich Langley said, why we can look like world beaters for one half and then easy beats for the other is a question Radders is going to have to solve quickly. Losing 3-score leads 2 weeks running is a worry. Sneed pulled us out of the mire once again, and there are signs we can be a force in the league. Albert and Jones both showed their class, though Fanua is the definition of rocks and diamonds. Need rid of this injury curse now.
Joshua asked me to add his review, which he didn't submit, which just says, Sneed.
Well, we've heard that a lot. So
yeah.
Shall we just talk about the drop goal and forget about the second half collapse?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know what it is. Yes, it was our right side. Manu Mao went off with a head injury. One of those where the physio's trying to lead them off and they're going, I'm not concussed, I'm absolutely fine. I know exactly what I'm doing and where I am.
Whilst he sort of walks sideways and then falls over a waterfall.
Just about, or a blade of grass, yeah. And you just, we all just took one look at him and was like, he's not coming back and he won't be playing against Warrington either, with it only being 6 days. Yeah. But yeah, so because he looked great, both our second rowers, him and Jones, played really well until that point, and it felt like a better, more balanced squad that we had, because we started with Taylor and Bowden on the bench. No, we didn't. We started with them on the pitch, and then we were able to bring Satai and Sow on to replace them, which pretty awesome. And there was a point at which we did a triple substitution where we were bringing Ellis, Satai and Sow on. And when you think, if I'm the opposition, I think maybe I've pulled my hamstring at this point because I really don't want to stay on the pitch.
And it helped get you sort of overpower them to get you that 20 points to 6 half-time lead, didn't it, as well?
Yeah. And realistically, it should be job done or job almost done. But, Wakefield are a good team. And I think as well, having 5 ex-Hull players playing for them probably also gives them that extra little boost as well.
Yeah, you got Miller, Green, Pitts, Westerman.
Lynn,
of course. I forget Lynn started with you guys.
Yeah, couldn't tackle anything when he played for us.
No, he's improved out of sight over the last 3 seasons, hasn't he, really?
Yeah, he's an incredible player. Yeah, and Fanua's still not fit, I don't think, but Fanua and Kelly and Carlos all being on the same wing, they are the same side. They are all carrying, getting back to fitness, and to have all 3 of them out there together, it's tough.
And they all can make maverick decisions in defence as well, can't they? So you've got. What you've got is an edge that's putting pressure on each other because the decision making isn't always consistent, and then through Ryan Atkins, who started on the left centre for Trin and for Tom Johnson to both get 2 tries, it kind of shows that there was a defensive weakness there. No Jake Connor in the 21-man squad. What happened there? He
picked up a nasty injury last week against Catalans. There's talk he could be out for 6 weeks.
Right, okay, because I hadn't seen anything. Joe Cater made his debut for Hull FC. How did he look? Did he look like a
he looked decent. Good enthusiasm, good energy. sort of player that, there's a defensive win on the other side of the pitch, so he's going to run over and congratulate everyone